It happened in a quiet compound in Gwarimpa, the kind where every neighbor knows each other and nothing unusual ever happens. At least, not until Ada moved in. She was a calm, respectful girl, mid-20s, who had just gotten a job as a sales girl near the apartment. The apartment was perfect for her, affordable, neat, peaceful. The only strange thing was room 7, the room next to hers. It was always locked, always dark, and nobody in the compound talked about it. When Ada asked the landlord about it, he smiled strangely and said, "That room, don't worry yourself, it no concern you." She didn't push further, but that was before the knocking started. On her third night in the compound, Ada was lying on her bed around 1:12 a.m., scrolling through her phone, when she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. But it wasn't on her door. It was coming through the wall, from room 7. Slow, deliberate knocks. She froze. Nobody lived there. She turned off her phone and listened. Knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm, same calm pace. Ada stood up carefully and placed her ear against the shared wall. Silence. Then, Ada. She jumped back immediately. The whisper wasn't loud. It wasn't aggressive. It sounded tired, exhausted, as if someone was begging to be heard. Ada ran to the light switch and kept the lights on all night. The next morning, Ada quietly approached Mama Bisi, the oldest tenant in the compound. "Mama, please, who is in room 7? The old woman looked at her for a long time, too long, then whispered, "You heard something last night?" Ada's heart thumped. "Yes, knocking, and I think the person said..." She didn't finish. Mama Bisi held her hand tightly and said, "Listen to me. No matter what you hear from that room, don't answer and don't knock back." Ada swallowed hard. "Mama, what happened in that room?" The old woman shook her head and said, "That one no be my story to tell." And she walked away. If you're enjoying this story, kindly subscribe so you don't miss more real Nigerian horror stories. Ada tried to sleep early. She couldn't. By 11 p.m., she had already double-checked her windows, doors, and curtains. By 12:47 a.m., she had prayed twice. By 1:52 a.m., it began again. Knock, knock, knock. Ada sat up immediately. She covered her ears. It didn't stop. The knocking grew a little louder, but this time, something new happened. A whisper came through the wall. "Please, help me." Ada's throat went dry. Her heart pounded. Her legs trembled. She whispered to herself, "Don't answer, don't answer, don't answer." But then, knock, knock, knock. 3 knocks. Slow. A begging knock. Ada felt tears fill her eyes. She shouted, trembling, "What do you want from me?" Silence. Then the whisper came back clearer. "Let me out." Ada ran out of her room, out of her flat, out into the compound, barefoot, shaking. The next day, Ada confronted the landlord. "Sir, please, what is in that room? I need to know." The landlord locked his office door, sat down and sighed deeply. Ada waited, shivering. Ada's eyes widened. Ada whispered, "What does she want?" The landlord shook his head. "We don't know. Nobody has ever answered her and lived her long enough to tell this story." A coldness spread through Ada's body. Ada decided she was leaving the next morning. She packed her bags, set an alarm, and sat on her bed with the lights on. 1:59 a.m. Silence. 1:12 a.m. Knock, knock, knock. Ada held her breath. The whisper followed. Ada, her heart slammed against her ribs. She pressed her hands to her ears. "Ada, I'm still here." She squeezed her eyes shut, tears falling. "Ada, please, knock back." Her entire body went numb. "Just one knock and I will be free."
The voice wasn't tired anymore. It was closer, closer than the wall, like it was whispering from inside her room. It had slowly turned her head. The wardrobe door was slightly open, just slightly. Inside the darkness, two pale eyes stared back at her, not looking, not human, not alive. The whisper came again. "Let me out!"
To find out the secrets behind room 7 and what really happened to Ada, watch part 2. Coming next.